Dear Christian, God cares about you and the people that are tied to you as much as He cares about your work. And so He's going to first protect you, fine-tune you, shield you, structure you, teach you before He even ever makes that work public, because He cares about you. I've been creating content online for about 4 years now. And in my 4 years of creating content, I have started 2 YouTube channels, one for my ministry and this one, my personal channel. This year was probably the most emotionally turbulent year for me in terms of content creation. Even though I knew I hadn't gotten to where I needed to get to want to be public, I desperately wanted my video to be seen this year. And that led to a lot of emotional lows. I'll never forget, middle of this year was just the worst because I was so attached to the numbers. I wanted to just continue moving with the motions and creating videos and just encouraging myself in the Lord. Whilst I was trying to just keep on pushing, I started experiencing a ton of burnout. And then I heard God tell me, my daughter, I need you to take a step back. And I was like, take a step back? I'm supposed to blow this year. So what do you mean, take a step back? And the thought of letting go of this thing that I felt like if I just keep pushing, at least I have some sort of control over the results I would get. And then God is telling me to take a step back. But then I was also experiencing that burnout, so I decided to obey and take a step back. And that was the best thing I never knew I needed. And so I stopped posting for about a month, and God started opening up a lot of things to me. He started making a lot of things clearer, and He started just giving me a lot of clarity and focus for my life. And for the first time ever, I knew that I was finally in that place where I was confident with where I was. Because I knew the only way from here is up. I remember a few months ago, my sister had asked me, Benny, would you want to blow now? And I remember telling her, and as much as I want to, I don't think that I am ready. But that desire to have wanted to be public was greater than that knowing, that inner knowing that it wasn't time, which was what led to all the emotional lows, this year. But after that month that I took off, the month of November, and the clarity that I had gotten, I remember I almost did not want to come back to YouTube. For the first time ever, it was a thought that crossed my mind. I think I'm enjoying the peace that I feel, but I'm just such a creative at heart. I realized during that break that even if it was just for fun, I don't ever want to stop creating. And that led me to start leveraging my Instagram page that I had neglected for so long. Of course, it was based on instruction from God, but I just obeyed and I just started having fun with my content. Why am I finally grateful for my small audience? There are a lot of things I learned during that break that made me really reflect and really start to appreciate God's strategic arrangement of our lives. The first thing was I noticed that this year I have deleted a lot of videos. I have deleted so many videos because of the amount of videos that I made, either without a lot of clarity or with not the best motives. And so, because I did not make some of those videos with the best motives, a lot of context was missed in those videos, and a ton of other reasons have led to me deleting a lot of videos from my YouTube channel. If God had answered my prayers and I had gotten a large audience, then a lot of people would have seen my journey, my mistakes. It would have been public and it might have been difficult for me to pivot. And so I was just so grateful towards the end of this year, especially during my break, that I could make mistakes in private. It was God shielding me from the world, from the judgment, and shielding me from having to explain too much, and also teaching me on the way, because if I did not experience that, I wouldn't have learned one of the biggest lessons I have learned in ministry this year. My motives matter. No matter how good that video is, or no matter how good what you're doing is, if you're not doing it from a pure place. And when I say pure, I mean, like, are you doing it because of what you think the reception will be, or because God told you to do it? There are some videos, or one video in particular, that I had released and I did not feel peace. Until today, that's one video I regret, because 40 people saw that video, and all of a sudden 40 people seeing a video became such a big number. I remember if I have a video that had maybe 30 views, I would be like, just 30 views. But when that happened and 40 people saw those videos, all of a sudden that number seemed astronomical. Like, oh my God, why did 40 people have to see that? And I had to learn that when I started seeing the numbers as human beings, like 40 eyes, 40 people, all of a sudden it felt more real, and it made me really start to see the value of numbers. Those numbers on your screen are actual people. They are actual human beings. And of course, when I was coaching, I had my first group coaching program under my ministry this year, say prayer ministry. And I was coaching about 7 people. And honestly, it was a lot. And I was thinking, if it was 30 people, I would feel so overwhelmed, because I do not currently have the infrastructure to manage that. So if 7 people is a lot, why is it that when we get 7 views, it feels like, why? Just 7 views? But if I were to be in a room where I'm addressing 7 people, it will feel like talking to a lot of people. But we have reduced human beings to numbers in our generation, so much so that we don't even value the seemingly small numbers anymore. And I'm so happy that's something I learned this year. I'm happy God taught me how to start valuing numbers and how to stop seeing them as numbers, but as actual human beings. This year, I also noticed that I was trying my best to be like other people, to copy people, to do it their way. And in doing that, my personality was being hidden. If you see a couple of my videos from early to middle of this year, you would notice how I was shrinking my personality just so that I can appear aesthetically pleasing. Because what I used to tell myself was, I have an international audience. I have to, come correct. And in the bid to do some of those things, I was just hiding my personality. And today, I am very grateful that I didn't have a large audience seeing that, because when that shift happened from me hiding my personality to me finally deciding I'm done with all this. I'm finally going to be myself. When that shift happened, I didn't have to make that shift in front of a million eyes. And so I'm so grateful from the bottom of my heart. And then lastly, this year I learned one of my biggest lessons. When God hides you, it is because your story is special to Him. And He's being protective of you. Picture a makeup artist making up her bride, and then as she's doing that, the bride leaves halfway through the makeup, steps out and goes to the public eye. It doesn't reflect well on the makeup artist. Nobody's going to say, this bride, what's going on? They would say, what did her makeup artist do? What is that on her face? So it reflects, the poor makeup job reflects poorly on the makeup artist. And in the same way, when we come out into the public space or into the public eye and we are unprepared, it reflects poorly on God. So He will fine-tune your character and clean the mirror until it looks exactly like Him before He pushes you into the world, because you are a direct reflection of your Father. And so I am so grateful. And for the first time this year, I decided the numbers don't matter to me anymore. I care more about the engagement. What are the names of these people that took their special and precious time to subscribe to me? I want to get to know you guys. And I love the fact that my mistakes were not public. I love the fact that I got to learn in private. I love the fact that God was protecting me and was shielding me and was hiding me in plain sight. I also love the fact that even as He was doing that, there were still a few people that He led to watch my videos who got blessed, regardless of where I was in my season. And so from the bottom of my heart, I'm so grateful, Dad. I'm so grateful to our dad for caring so much that he hid me. If you have big numbers, success to you would be the big numbers. But when God hides you in plain sight, when your numbers seem small, you have other metrics for success. How much you showed up authentically, how much clarity you have, and so on and so forth. I have an ebook. The ebook is called Success Has 5 C's. It's completely free. It's going to be pinned in the comment section below. Download it, read it. These are things that I've come to learn this year of what success actually means as a Christian. And I think it will bless you. So check it out. I think we've come to the end of this episode of my brand new podcast called The Young and Purposeful Podcast. Welcome. And if you got to this point, I'd like to get to know you. Leave your comment in the comment section and I will respond. Happy New Year in advance. Thank you so much for subscribing, for watching this video, and for being a part of my journey up until this point. I am so grateful and I love you all. Take care and bye.